Hi, Alex Crossley here. Going to do another Agile video for you on Burndown. So this is a really fundamental Scrum measure, really. Well, they've taken ownership of it, but it's something we've all been doing for a long time. I've chatted to an old football friend of mine who would start his week by putting all the jobs that he expects to be done on the board, paper invoices, and he would watch as they would be taken off throughout the week, and they'd get less and less and less as we burn down that list. So we use a lot of tools now to do this, so I'm going to show you a graphic representation of a burn down. But that's really all it is where you commit to a certain amount of work through sprint planning. You commit to a certain amount of work, and then you burn it down, and you monitor that from day to day. So if you've not already watched my video on Kanbans, maybe you just go and watch that. It might help you with this view here. But what we're saying here is we've got a Kanban board that's actually halfway through for a couple of days into the sprint. But we've committed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 user stories in the sprint. So if we wanted to monitor how we're getting, we could look at this Kanban board every day and we'd be comfortable with that. But if you just wanted a quick snapshot of how are we going from trends, from week, from sprint to sprint, you would look at your burn downs and see how do we get on with this sort of stuff, because it would keep a history of it. This is effectively the burn down. So you end up with a chart. I've put every single day. You've got day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way to day 10. And you've got your outcomes. You've got 7 outcomes on day 1. Nothing's completed. 7 outcomes on day 2. The top one's completed. 7 outcomes on day 3. Still 1 completed. 7 outcomes on day 4. 2 are completed. And you can start to see that we're starting to draw what's called a burn down. We can see over time that we got a nice trend that the top things are getting done first and it's burning down. There you go. That's a burn down chart. It's going to look a lot like that. It might be done rather than the number of items on the story points, the size of things, so you get a bit more relative for that if you're not using right sizing and you're using story points. Well, that's what a burn down is. And you can see the pattern and you can work on this. You can bring this up to the team and go, hey, look, we're struggling. You can use this as a great centerpiece to talk to. The other thing you can do is if you're halfway through the sprint, so here we're on day 6, and you can see that the burn down is not projecting to where it's supposed to go, you can start to address those things. So halfway through a sprint, I used to do this quite a lot in one particular position I was in. I'd be working on this. I go, I don't want to put this stress on the team. I'm going to go and have a look at this. I can see it's not quite working. I'm going to remove all resources from these bottom 4 things because we're not going to get them all done. And I'm going to redeploy those resources onto the things that are more important to us because we're not going to complete the top priority stuff. So you can really use the burn down sort of through the sprint, probably just at this, you wouldn't do it every single day, but certainly the halfway point, and go, hang on, I'm going to do something here to just make sure we deliver the high value stuff. So that's burn down charts. They would normally look as a graph, but I think the demonstration with the cards works quite well. If you'd like to know about more things, including the Kanban charts, Kanban boards, or any of the measures and charts that we use, like velocity, there's all videos on my website as part of the playbook, alexcrossley.com. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one.